Moodboard, also called inspiration board, is a collage of images that convey a general idea, style, or feeling of a particular concept. But why would you make one? If you feel a lack of direction, or you get frustrated with guesswork. What I mean to say is sometimes you may wonder where to even begin when facing an empty room. Similar to if someone handed us an empty paper, suddenly asking us to draw something we're not familiar with. The moodboard gives you a starting point to explore and a vibe to work towards. There's a good reason why visual artists, interior designers, and even landscapers use them. They help define the mood, color schemes, lighting, materials, and generate more ideas for your building adventure. In short, they aid figuring out the general aesthetic direction of a project. They are especially useful when collaborating with other people to make sure everyone is on the same page before the work begins. For example, if you wanted to build headquarters for your guild. Sure, you won't be able to replicate most images one-on-one, but think of how you could achieve something close to the feeling and mood of the images. Imagine the moodboard as your personal art director who will keep you on track. For example, you might have established in your collage that this type of blue lighting works really great to create an eerie, ghostly vibe. So you won't be shuffling back and forth in-game trying different lighting setups to figure it out, and can instead focus on what housing items you can use to get closest to the atmosphere of the reference. To make your moodboard, any image editor or free collage maker works, but what I personally use is PureRef. It's a lightweight software that floats on top of my other windows, which might be handy if you have only one screen, so you can have it hover over your game window as you decorate. You can resize the window, neatly align and group the images, zoom in and out as much as you like. I also appreciate I can add more or remove images conveniently at any point. You can get this software for free, though I'm sure the creator will appreciate any tip you might leave them. If you'd like to try it out, there's a link in the description below. You can search references on Pinterest or Google Images. Both have a lot of AI-generated content today, and I personally advise to look at references made by actual humans to learn from humans when it comes to design ideas, to think of why they made the decisions the way they did. To reduce the amount of AI on your Pinterest, you can go to your account settings and check the refine options in your recommendations tab. There, you can turn off the Gen AI interests. To remove some of the AI appearing in Google search results, I like to add the following filter in my searches. Before 2021. This will show content from before the time that generative AI spread like a wildfire. If you'd like to search images with specific color palettes, you can use the Tools menu and check the color of your choice. Here are some examples of possible search keywords that may give ideas for atmosphere plus interior design and layout compositions. When gathering pictures for your housing moodboard, I'd recommend focusing on the following: the architecture and structure of the room fixtures, such as wall and ceiling paneling, furnishing style, mood and vibe, and lighting and colors. The moodboard can help you learn what aesthetic you naturally gravitate toward. I advise not trying to copy the references fully one-to-one. The idea is not to imitate but to emulate the same feeling. Maybe you like the windows in one picture, the lighting in another, and the room layout in the third. Of course, if you specifically want to build a big pen or a replica of a famous room inside your home, then go for it. I encourage to have 4 to 8 images to start with as the main mood and style guide, and then branch from there to find more specific references to inspire details such as magic libraries, clutter, or staircases. It might also be good to gather some references in-game to help understand a particular style you might be going for. Perhaps you'd like to make a hoe for your dwarf or tauren. Make notes of the things that make their racial aesthetic distinct from the other races. Related to this, I have been working on WoW housing style sheets just for this purpose, to help people notice the distinct differences between racial housing. You can find these on the card page linked in the description below. If you'd like to browse official WoW art for inspiration, you can find thousands of illustrations on Blizzard Press Center, both in WoW and Hearthstone sections. That's where I found most of the pictures you see in the video. I hope the video series helps with your WoW building projects to create interesting locations. You can of course change the direction of your build whenever you like, and what can be achieved will depend on the limits of the housing system and available furnishings. But at least you have figured out your aesthetic preferences and have something to work towards, especially if you want to make unique spaces by syncing, loading, clipping and combining housing items in imaginative ways. If you have any mood board tips of your own, please feel free to add them in the comments below. Have fun building, and I'll see you in the neighborhood!